Hello, church family. It's Chaney here. Today, I'd like to share about walking with God. So, firstly, I'd like to read from Genesis chapter 5 um, about a person who was quite famous in the Bible for walking with God, and that was Enoch. So, I'll read from Genesis chapter 5, verse 21 to 23. It says, "When Enoch had lived 65 years, he fathered Methuselah. Enoch walked with God after he followed Methuselah 300 years and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Enoch were 365 years. Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him." This is quite special because this means that Enoch was taken straight to heaven. Uh, and both he and Elijah were two people in the Bible who this happened to. And certainly it's not something that happens in your day-to-day life, or even in the Bible for that matter. But it just shows you how important God considers walking with Him. And so I just want to think a little bit about what it means to walk with God. Um, Nowadays, we're encouraged to take our daily exercise, and many people are using walks as a way of doing that. And when I think about walking, especially walking with someone, I mean, what do you have to do? I think one thing that you have to do is have the same pace. So you have to walk together, you have to walk at the same speed, and you also talk together. And it's an opportunity just to be in step with one another, and literally, and also to just get to know one another a little bit better whilst you're watching the world go by as you're walking. And I think God wants to have something like that with us. And certainly, I think He thinks it's very important as well. I think God likes walking. It says in the very beginning of the Bible um, that God was walking in the Garden of Eden. And that's one of the few times that I think we see some sort of physical activity done by God in the Bible. So that must be important. And I think when we walk with God, um, it deepens our relationship with Him. Another famous example of walking with God is in the New Testament on the road to Emmaus. And in Luke 24:15, it says, "As they talked and discussed these things with each other, Jesus himself came up and walked along with them." I think this really just shows you God's love for us and patience for us as He wants to go along with us at our pace. It's not about running to keep up with God or anything like that, but walking with God and having that time with Him being the most important thing. So, what does that look like in our daily lives? I think it means certainly taking some time apart um, and spending time in reading the Bible and in prayer. But also, I think it can mean also during your daily activities, being aware of God and acknowledging Him and really including Him in our day-to-day life. I think certainly walking with God is not just about Sundays, but it's about our daily lives and just being with Him. So um, so let's remember Enoch um, to be someone like him now who walked with God. Although we might not be able to experience something like him, which is certainly very much the exception, but I think certainly our lives will be much fuller if we spend time in the presence of God and walking with Him, step by step, at the same pace. And that will just help us to grow in a deeper relationship with Him. So, God bless and stay safe.